Hello, I'm Leslie Burton, and just a little introduction to me. I'm an intuitive energy healer. I work as an EFT practitioner. I'm a Reiki master. I'm an Akashic Records reader and a dragon rider. Okay, so I just wanted to start this sort of little 10-minute chat about high sensitivity and what it means to me with a quick reframe, which might surprise you. So high sensitivity isn't actually fragility, it's finely tuned perception. Think of a high resolution camera. It's not too much, it's just picking up all the details around you. And that is so true of just exactly what we do. So for years, I didn't have these words. I had no idea. I'd walk into a room, I'd pause, and I'd just know that something had happened. I remember once I entered a space and there'd obviously been a big argument before we'd arrived. And I could just, the air was so thick, the smiles were sort of tightened, and I could just feel it, we could just cut it with a knife. And everyone around me thought was like, there's no problem. They just carried on as normal. And I'm like, I'm not sure I want to be in this room. They thought I was just imagining it. But my body had already clocked the tension. And if you've ever felt like the lights are really loud, or the room is just buzzing, you might be more finely tuned than you realize you are, because that's what it's all about, high sensitivity. For me, being highly sensitive means my system gathers more data. So it could be the sounds around the lights, subtle expressions, energy in a space, and my heart just processes it really deeply. That's why negativity can affect my mood so much. And for many years, that's exactly what it did do. I was, I'd walk into a room, somebody negative would come next to me, and immediately my mood went down. Um, but then over time, I noticed something else. I could actually control what I was giving away to people. I could protect myself from those energy vampires around me. And I noticed something else, that people heavy with emotion would come near me, and after a few minutes, they'd walk away much, much lighter. And I was still okay. They hadn't changed the situation, they'd changed their energy through taking some of my energy. But although it had soothed them and reset them, I had protected myself and I had not given away more than I could deal with coping. So I'm happy to make other people happy. That is fantastic for me. But what I don't want to do is to take away the happiness from me as well. And I'm sure you've felt that too. So sensitivity for me it's like relational intelligence, if you understand what I mean by that. It reads the room. It hears what isn't said. Yeah, so all those things that people aren't saying to you. And when it's honored, it becomes a really compassionate guide. Um, so let me tell you about some ways that it can show up in my life and in my work as well. So in my work and healing, is obviously the one that is massively important to me. And in my meditation and energy work, and definitely when I'm including the dragons here, I notice some micro shifts. So it could be like just a change in breath. It could be a shift of eyes, a tiny drop of the shoulders, maybe, um, a softening in the voice. Definitely the flickering of the eyes can give things away for me. And these cues tell me where to go next. Okay, so people don't even notice they've done it themselves, but they tell me where to go next. And sensitivity then lets me be a gentle and precise guide because people's feelings matter and they matter to everyone and they definitely matter to me. In my relationships and in my boundaries, whoa, this is a big one. I can now create buffer zones around me. Okay, I can protect myself. I can put myself in a bubble. And I know I do my best work, sort of more late mornings, maybe early afternoons, um, with space in between my sessions. So I need to recalibrate. It would be so easy for me to just get fixated on something and just go, 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 go all the way. But I run out of energy. I ache everywhere. So I will stop myself every hour, just get up, recalibrate, just take 5 minutes, deep breaths, have a walk around, ground myself. And then it's so, so much better. Always when I do my Zoom, either one-to-ones or group sessions, I will take at least 5 minutes quiet time beforehand just to center myself and be ready for what is to come. And it's not indulgent. It isn't indulgent to have these pauses. It's calibrations. It protects my quality of work. It protects my quality of presence. It's, self-care is not indulgent. Um, in my creativity and my spiritual practice, of course, this means an awful lot to me. My sensitivity is is sort of the wellspring behind my meditations and my dragon journeys. Um, Dragons to me are archetypes of wise, protective energy. They're like guardians of your frequency. Okay, I love the dragon energy. And when I tune into that frequency, all the noise falls away, and what matters becomes clear. Okay, so when I lead a journey, whichever journey it may be, I tune into what is needed in the collective or the one-to-one session at the time, and that is the energy that I will bring in for that occasion. So what do I want to do? I want to normalize here that a challenge can feel really confronting. Any challenge that you have can feel really confronting to you. What we think we want is not always what we need. So a client once arrived to me with a very specific goal. She knew exactly what she wanted to do, and that was fine. And as always, with a client, when a client has something very specific to work with or is a new client to me, we'll have a little bit of a chat first about what it is she's looking for, what she wants. And we could have marched straight towards that. I could have said, "Yeah, that's fine. That's great. She's already told me on the messenger, on the calendar. This is what I want to work with." We could have just started the session with, "Okay, this is what you've got. Let's just tune in there." But when I tuned into her, when we had our chat at the beginning, it became very clear that the goal was like a surface solution for her. The goal that she wanted to achieve was just something right surfacing across the top. Underneath it all, what she really wanted, what she really needed was permission, just simply permission to rest her nervous system. Yeah, we all have to do that. And to strengthen her boundaries before making any big moves. And as a highly sensitive person, this is exactly what you need to do. You are not abnormal. There are so many of it. In fact, everybody in the world could tune into this in the same way, but we're taught from a very early age not to. Yeah, so that is why it becomes a problem in our nervous system because we are all the time trying to push it away. There is nothing wrong with this. It is very normal. Um, when we honored, so back to my client, when we honored this, when we honored her boundaries, when we honored her permission and gave her that permission, all of a sudden, the decision that she needed to make was was very small. She knew exactly what she needed to do. All she needed was to give herself permission to be herself, to tune in, and to set those boundaries. It was a simple decision to make. It saved her time. It definitely saved her money with me because we didn't need to go around in circles. And it absolutely protected her emotions. So there's that emotional whiplash that we can so often get. So why is it valuable? It helps us to listen beneath the noise. There is so much noise going on in the world today, so much high emotion. It's like volcanoes around us. I can feel it. You know, you don't have to tune in very much to the world today to feel the massive building of the volcanoes that are ready to erupt in our world at the moment. But how do I deal with it? I'm an observer. Yeah, I don't tune in to the massive emotion. I look at what's going on and say, yeah, that's fine. I can do nothing to help that. Let me focus my attention here where I can help. Okay. And it's the people that are ready to be helped are the ones that I can help. Okay. We can do nothing for everything else until those people are ready. It doesn't make the decisions for us, but it does help us to clarify those decisions. Why it's a superpower? I think it's a real superpower. For me, I really see it as this. When we treat sensitivity like this finely tuned instrument that we are, it becomes a superpower. We can sense patterns quickly so we don't waste effort. Compassion doesn't have to cost us our health if we set our boundaries. And we can choose between emotional truth, sorry, we can choose from emotional truth rather than pressure or performance. We don't have to work under the pressure. We don't have to be in our ego all the time and being forced to perform. It is about choosing our emotional truth and living with that. And the more you stop yourself from time to time and honor that 5 minutes to recalibrate, reset yourself, the more work you will actually get done. It's absolutely true. And I can tell you that is so true. So if you've ever felt too much, consider this. Maybe you were reading a wider spectrum. Maybe your instrument was telling you your truth faster than your mind could catch up because your heart and your intuition are far faster than your brain. We don't realize this. So listen and tune into it because your brain has to catch up. So I'd like to just leave you with a tiny practice that you could do at anytime, at any time of the day when you're just about to have those 5 minutes. It's just place your hand gently on your heart. Breathe into yourself, soften your jaw, soften yourself around the body. Let your shoulders relax. And then just do a short inhale and count to 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the top there for 4, 2, 3, 4. And then slowly release through your mouth for 6. So it's a slower exhale than an inhale. And just count that down. You can just do it a couple of times. 4 times is even better, but a couple of times will do it. And then ask yourself, what is the signal beneath the noise right now? Notice that first subtle answer. It's often just quiet, simple, and kind. but it's the answer you need right now. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this chat, and I will hopefully see you again soon.